Welcome to our show today. This is the Janice Thompson Show, and it is a SAC production. And I've been doing shows for SAC since 1999. And the last couple of years, you may know that SAC has been in transition. We sold our building at 115 North Broadway. And we are at our brand new location today, which is 34 J Street across from the post office. And we have an exciting show planned for you today, so I hope you'll tell everyone to tune in. This production will be brought over to Proctor's, the Open Stage Media, and will be put in their scheduling, and you can check it out on the Open Stage Media website. We will be having our own cell phone soon, I am told, but we do not have a number today. But if you wanted to call me to get some productions over here at the studio, or you have some questions about SAC, we do have a membership, and the membership wanted SAC to survive. And this is why we're here today. We're excited about SAC's future. This is one of the first productions from this studio. And I will give you my phone number right now so I don't forget. It's 518-372-0035. And our show today is about community development. I got inspired last week when I was walking on my normal walk routine, and I was on Erie Boulevard, and I saw up above that construction was being started for the Erie Boulevard project, which has been in the works for a while, but actually not implemented until, I believe, last week. And I said, I have to do a show by the end of June. So here we are, June 29th, Thursday, to talk about this fabulous project, which I'm really excited about because what it represents for Schenectady. And I have two individuals here from the city. And if it wasn't for the one next to me, Bill Winkler, we would not be able to have done this show today because everyone I talked to was on vacation. So welcome, Bill, and welcome, John. And we're going to talk to both of you. And I know they've been putting in some infrastructure right now on the Erie Boulevard project, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. And how much are you involved in that piece?
I've been involved with the preparation of the plans and leading up to actually the letting of the contract. I'm still involved, but John O'Sullivan, our engineer in charge, is a person that's actually on the site. And as far as information about what's going on today, John would be the one to fill us in on that.
Yeah, so your name was in the paper, John. After I saw it, Bill mentioned you. And did you see the article that was in a couple of days ago? Were you familiar with that? I'm not sure if you can capture it, but it was in our Gazette maybe for Wednesday, or maybe it was yesterday even.
No, it wasn't yesterday.
It wasn't? It was Wednesday. And actually, John's name is mentioned, and it says the goal to finish the project is going to be October 1st, 2013.
That's correct.
And I understand that Riffenberg is the construction firm. Is that correct?
Yes, right.
And from what I found out on the internet is that they are very prompt. They stay within the budget, and they stay within the schedule. So are we on schedule so far?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So, wow, this is so exciting because nothing has been done on Erie Boulevard since it was filled in 1925.
Nothing major.
Nothing major, like repaving, but this is going to change the scape of Erie Boulevard, isn't it?
Yes, it will.
And it'll be pedestrian friendly.
Yes.
So you wanted to show a couple of things that...
Well, in particular, the rendering.
The rendering, yeah.
This rendering actually has two parts to it. This is the southern end of Erie Boulevard from State Street towards the General Electric Company, and what it shows is in particular the median that's there that is not currently on Erie Boulevard. It shows the lighting, it shows the intersections that are going to be redone. You can't see all the utility work that's going to be done and is being done right now.
Yeah.
But this gives you a general layout. We have another one underneath which takes you from State Street to Union Street, which is the rest of the project going north. And it kind of has the same layout and just basically shows you what it's going to look like when it's finished.
Wow. I'm so happy we're able to bring that. So GE is up in this area.
Correct.
So that people that are watching can, position it for them. And we can't see GE on this.
Right.
Okay. But there's 890.
That's 890. That's how you get to 890.
Right. So that's pretty awesome. And you got that from Clough Harbor.
Clough Harbor did the rendering for us. There was an original rendering that had some early designs on it that are no longer incorporated. So they created this for us just recently. And like I said, there's another piece underneath.
Can we look at that one? Sure.
It's the same layout. This is State Street here, Liberty Street, and Union Street, and that's pretty much where the project ends. There is no median here on this end because there isn't enough room within the right-of-way to create the median. But we have turning lanes, and it'll be a much safer ride.
So we are having a roundabout, or we're not having the roundabout? Not. That was a big controversial thing in the beginning, wasn't it?
It was on the books for a while. Roundabouts are kind of unique. They need certain geometry to actually work well. And I don't know the exact reason why it was taken out, but it could have been one of the reasons because it wasn't the correct geometry.
Uh-huh. So what do you think this is going to do for Schenectady and the Capital District? It'll do a lot for being pedestrian friendly for the locals, but what do you envision?
I envision that this will be another piece in the recovery of Schenectady for economic development. There's a lot of opportunity between State Street and General Electric Company for development of businesses.
Mm-hmm.
This improvement, I think, will jumpstart that introduction of new businesses. There's a lot of opportunity down there, and I think there's actually some already in the planning phase.
Really?
Yeah.
Just hasn't made the media yet, right?
Right. Nothing's finalized or anything, but there's a lot of talk about it. And this will be a drastic improvement from the north-south flow of traffic from General Electric Company.
I read that the funding for this project is 95% federal grant. Are you familiar with that? And 5% the city contributed.
It's 95% state and federal.
Okay.
The federal contribution is 80%. The state is 15%, and the city is 5%.
Okay, this is the article that I got that out of, so it might have, combined them and meant government.
It's 95% non-city.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't think it was that much. I thought there was more contribution from Schenectady.
It's called a federal pass-through program. It's a great opportunity.
Wow, and this whole idea got started under former Stratton's administration. I
believe the planning process began in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
There were several substantial design changes along the way.
Yeah.
But it started in 6 years ago.
What would you like to add, John? Our engineer on the project?
Well, many people look at the finished product and they don't understand what goes into building a project like this. The water mains that you mentioned that we're working on, some are over 90 years old. So it's good that we are replacing them, and it'll be much easier for our people in our water department, particularly if they have an emergency shutdown or something, to get on the new valves and shut them down and get a complete shutdown, things of that nature.
And that's probably something that would have needed to have been done anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the time, say if you have a valve failure, they'd have to dig a hole in the specific part of the road, and it'd be very difficult to put it back without everybody riding over a bump. A patch is very difficult to put in to get it as smooth so it'll match all four surfaces. And it's just a difficult thing to do. When you can do it this way, starting from the bottom and working your way up, we can make it a much better ride and safer for all those concerned.
Now, when will that part be done, the infrastructure?
Well, the infrastructure, we're working on it now with our water mains. I would say probably most of that work will be done, I'd say, late August, early September, possibly, give or take a couple weeks either way.
And then what is the next step?
Well, we've got to start and we've got to remove 2 foot of material from 890 all the way to State Street. And that will be done in various stages and segments. That's all been planned out in the plans. And that way we can maintain traffic. So it'll be somewhat a difficult flow for the traffic, but we will try to maintain, particularly in the morning, 2 lanes in the directions north and south, and then during the workday, which is from 9 to 3, we can close down to 1 lane in each direction. I know it's very difficult for the people getting through, but it's safer for the work and it's easier and more efficient for the contractor to work in a situation like that.
The headline said, downtown trip and irritating slow drive. But, you're going to have some
in order to end
annoyances.
In
That's
order to
inevitable.
end up with the product that we're having, you need to expect some inconvenience.
Sure. Sure.
Because you couldn't detour that amount of traffic. There's no place for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
You could detour. It would take, you'd have to come down to Broadway or some other alternate route that just can't accommodate that amount of traffic. So it would be worse by detour.
Well, it looks like it's been well thought out. Now, will you be involved in the whole process right through October, John?
Yeah, I'll be there almost full time. I spend some time over at City Hall in the engineering office, so I have emails and things like that I have to get. But other than that, most of my time will be right down on the project site.
Yeah. Now, were you appointed for this by our mayor?
No, I was hired by the mayor to work as a senior engineer in the engineering office, but this became available, so that was Mr. McCarthy's choice, along with Mr. Winkler.
Okay. Now, have you worked for the city prior to this, both of you?
No, I was, when I worked with Department of Public Works, the Transportation, I was the engineer in charge when we reconstructed the 890 back in 94 and 95.
Oh.
And then I moved out to exit 26 and the new bridge across the Mohawk, and that was my last job with Department of Transportation. Then I retired and went to work for Boswell Engineering.
Oh, well, you've got quite a background, which makes you very capable for what you're doing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's the type of work that I enjoy doing. At times it's a little difficult, but that goes with the territory. We get surprises in this type of job.
Sure. Now, were we going to be able to show that those few pictures that you brought? Because I thought they were wonderful.
I can show them in hard copy right now.
In hard copy, yeah. I don't know if... I hope they can see them, but we'll point out each part that you showed me because I think that is wonderful. Whichever one you want to start at, the camera on the right. Yep.
This is simply a picture of in 1919 what the Erie Canal or Erie Boulevard looked like, and what it looked like after they had done the reconstruction back then, or the construction back then. This picture in the little box, I have a blow-up of that. It's a much better picture if you can see it.
That's a great picture.
Is when the canal went out of business and no longer was functioning as a canal. It was like 1917, 1919. They began to fill the canal in 1920. And I think it actually took about 5 years because I'm not sure I can see it on camera, but the lower picture here kind of indicates that they were dumping anything they had to fill in the canal.
Such as?
Well, this picture shows basically just stone that they're dumping in. But one of the problems we're going to run into, and we already have, is we don't really know what is in there. Because it was almost 100 years ago, and they were just trying to fill up a hole. So they could have put anything that they wanted in there. There was no Department of Environmental Conservation or anything that would regulate what went in there. So we're in a discovery mode every time they dig. And John can attest to, we haven't been doing it very long, but we've already had to make changes because of what was in the ground or what wasn't in the ground. So it's been a long time since the canal was filled in, and we have to be prepared. John is prepared for the surprises that are coming.
Now, do you have an archaeologist that might be interested in what you might find there?
Not until we hit something. I mean, as soon as we discover something that may be of consequences, we'll get in touch with the state. But hopefully we don't do that. Hopefully we just hit rubble and things that don't make for good foundations for roads, but have no archaeological value.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Wow, this is so exciting. I hope our community knows what's going on. I talked to a couple of people and they weren't even aware of it. So I felt this was more imperative to get the information out. I have something that I decided I would do here because it seemed appropriate. And since I do sing, have you heard of the Erie Canal song?
I don't think I have.
It was written in 1905 by Thomas S. Allen, and he died in 1919. He was born in 1876, and I learned this in school. So you're gonna know this tune probably. I've got a mule. Her name is Sal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal.
I do know it.
She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. And every inch of the way we go, from Albany to Buffalo. Oh, low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge, for we're coming to a town. And you'll always know your neighbor, you'll always know your pal, if you've ever navigated on the Erie Canal.
Do remember that.
How about you, John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. Well, I think we've been here for maybe 20 minutes. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Then we're going to take a short break.
The other thing I'd like to say is to the people of Schenectady and surroundings is you have to be patient. We have traffic situations which aren't desirable, but they're necessary in order to end up with the product that we want. So a little patience. Things may be a little rough at the beginning. I think they'll smooth out. And there are some alternate routes that could be taken, and people will find them. But just have a little patience. Patience is a virtue, certainly in this case. Well, maybe down the road when things get moving along further, you'd come back again and sure. Hopefully you can stay for a little refreshments, but if you can't, please take some with you. And it's my pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bill and John. Well, to my left here we have two people from the Holiday Inn in Schenectady. And I want to introduce you to Gianna Enzian and Chris Birchfield. And Chris is the manager of the Holiday Inn.
Sales manager.
And Gianna is the sales coordinator. So. And John and I have known each other since, Oh, prior to an event that my organization had at the Holiday Inn March 24th, it was called a Spring Fling, and my organization that I founded last October is called Storm Aid, and it gives relief to 4 counties from the flood of last August, and the 4 counties are Greene County and Schoharie and Schenectady and Montgomery. And John and I worked together to have this event, and the Holiday Inn was absolutely wonderful. They donated all the food for our spring fling. And Gianna just happened to call me the other day. She needed a document, and we got talking, and I said, Gianna, how would you like to come on a show that I'm doing on Friday, because it's on community development, and I know some things have been going on with the Holiday Inn in Schenectady. So she said, we would love to. Could I bring Chris with me? I said, of course. So here they are today, kind of spirit of the moment. Mm-hmm. And I know you've got a lot of things going on because you just briefed me a little bit. So whoever wants to start, go ahead. Let everybody know how wonderful you are, what an asset you are to our community.
Well, Storm Aid was a wonderful opportunity to give back and help the people in the counties that needed it, because I know that there was some difficulties with the aid coming through.
Still
and
is. Still.
So that was just so, we were so happy to be involved with that. We also do a lot of other community we're involved in the community in a lot of other ways, not just in the community of Schenectady, but on a global scale. IHG, Intercontinental Hotels Group, has programs running one of them's called Give Kids the World, and each hotel has been asked to try and raise as much money as possible to build resorts down in Florida for children who have terminal illness and disability, and these children get to go down to these homes that they built on the resorts that are specifically geared towards each person's illness or disability, and the children who may die because of these illnesses. Actually, there's been miracles. They've turned around because they've gotten re-inspired by being somewhere where they can forget about their troubles and get out of that space where, oh, I'm sick, and they come back, and it's just a wonderful foundation. It's called Give Kids the World, where we do things at the hotel called like ice cream for breakfast, and we'll set up a table and we do ice cream for breakfast, and all of the kids will and the parents and people are like, ooh, ice cream for breakfast, and they all of the proceeds that we've raised over $500 so far. We've just been running for 2 months now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So we're very confident we're going to meet our goal. And also we have a program called Clean the World.
Clean the World?
Yes.
Because you're green, right?
Yes. We are 3 key green certified property.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice to know.
Mm-hmm. We got rid of all of those little creamer packets. So we use an actual creamer caddy now instead of all that plastic waste. We have a policy of conserving energy where we turn lights, all the one light on each floor in the first room, and then on the second, third, and fourth floors, those rooms, just that sheer curtain is drawn, so natural sunlight will come in to kind of conserve the energy, because on the first floor you can't have the curtain open, obviously, because then you could see in. So
yeah,
our hotel has a unique design to where it does flood in a lot of natural sunlight,
yes,
which for that unique design is very energy efficient and very friendly. So all the green things that we do, we are completely recyclable, even down to the used soap. And everything does get donated, whether it's domestic or foreign charities. It does all get recycled and gone to the proper areas, and we do keep up on that. And that is a Holiday Inn IHG standard.
Wow. Are a lot of the hotels going to this IGA?
A lot of the major brands, your Hiltons, your Marriotts, your Starwoods, they are. But Holiday Inn actually has kind of been the pioneer for that. Since Holiday Inn was started as a family-friendly destination, they've stuck to that. So they've kind of been the leader in all the latest avenues of fundraising and energy efficient and green-friendly services.
Wow. The one green thing I noticed when I've stayed in a hotel is that they will only change your linen if you ask them to, or you let them know.
Some small independent properties do operate that way.
Some do it automatically, but you tell them when you want your linen changed. So I think that was the obvious.
Well, at our property, it's standard. We change the linens. We turn it over unless, of course, you do the do not disturb. Or I don't need housekeeping services today. But our machines are energy efficient for what we use. The chemicals that we use in our machine are energy efficient and green friendly. So we do a lot of natural ingredients and a lot of recycled material through there too.
Mm-hmm.
We just dropped. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We just dropped off a bunch of linens to the city, the homeless shelter and the city mission, and we actually the Clean the World. I apologize. I didn't actually get to explain it, but Chris kind of touched on it. We take all of the soaps, the half-used soaps, and all of that gets collected and sent to a facility where they melt it down, and then they give the soap away to people who need soap.
Now, where does that go?
I don't know exactly where it goes. I think it goes, maybe even goes to different countries where it's needed.
But where do you send it to initially?
Oh,
someplace around here? Because I know the Salvation Army does that too, and I think they do that right around here. They recycle everything that doesn't get sold or donated. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that. So
our housekeeping department does it probably on a monthly basis. When we do a collection, the girls and the management team there sends it out. And I think the corporate has it set up with a few companies in the local New York area.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was there anything that we missed that you're doing?
Well, we're revamping our menus right now, so we can just have beautiful menus. The image, we relaunched in May of 2009, so all of our guest rooms are renovated. We have pillow top mattresses. The rooms are beautiful. The atrium, the holodome was built, and all this natural sunlight comes in and shines down over our indoor pool. We try and present the best image possible because Schenectady is a very unique city. We love being a part of it. The Holiday Inn's been in the community since the mid-'60s. So it's definitely been a business that's stayed here for a very long time. We care about the community, and we're always looking for ways to get involved. Every month we have a community event that we try and be involved in. Recently, we just collected all these cans and brought them over to the Animal Protective Foundation.
Now there's been a big push for the Animal Protective Foundation with recyclables. Yeah. Great.
So just anything we can think of, we really try and be a part of, and just trying to give the best image possible, to be the cleanest, the best guest service possible. And people will stay at our hotel even though they're coming to Albany. We have those loyal customers who will come back, the guests that want to stay with us. In Schenectady, one of the best things I think is that it is a walkable city. You can walk anywhere. If you go to Clifton Park, you can't walk really there, but you can walk anywhere here.
And it's going to be more walkable with what's going on with the Erie Boulevard project.
Yeah, once that's done.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
The gateway to the city is going to be beautiful.
Oh, that's so nice. You need to move here because I know you travel a little ways to where you live.
I'm not opposed to it.
Well, you can come down in the stockade. We can find a place for you.
Yes.
So.
Well, she considers herself pretty much a Schenectady local with all the time that we spend in the city.
I know. I live here most of the time anyway. I can just set up a bed in my office.
That's so funny.
But with the other things that the hotel has, like she said, we have been here since the mid-'60s. We've never changed flags. We've never been sold. It has been the original owners.
Who are the original owners?
Shockett Hotels. They're out of Indianapolis, but they also own the Hampton Inn. We're sister properties.
Oh. And the Hampton is over on
State
Street. So that's not a coincidence then, is it? That was probably a planned
We've kind
with the one
of
owner.
got a monopoly on the city.
Yeah.
So.
Well, gee, I bet a lot of people didn't know that connection.
Hampton is the newest, latest property, and we're the nice, largest classic property. So we can house the large groups that come to visit the city for all the tourism business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We had the movie, The Pines People, Place Beyond the Pines.
That's what I wanted you to mention. That is
yes.
great. I didn't know that.
That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They were there the whole summer into the fall. They were wonderful. We really worked hard to bring the community together for those guests. We went to all the local businesses, asked them, would you like to give a coupon or even like a flyer if you don't want to discount anything, but just anything you can give we put these folders together and put them in each of their rooms. And since the movie was focused on Schenectady, the Place Beyond the Pines, they really were, their whole outlook was let's keep it in Schenectady. They did a lot of shopping here and a lot of eating here.
And then there's been another production since then, too. They just filmed something down in the stockade.
Yes.
The same time that the bear had gotten loose and they had to get it down from the tree. And the filming was being done in the morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning, right near where I live.
Cool.
Yeah. So I guess it's very desirable here to film.
Yes.
Because we make it very attractive.
We have so much
movie
to
productions.
offer.
Yeah.
We have a lot to offer here. Some of the best food I've ever eaten, and I was born and raised in this area. I was born in Albany. I grew up in Mechanicville, working in Schenectady, and Little Italy. The Italian food here.
Oh, a lot of good food here.
State Street has aperitivo. There's the new Happy Cappuccino, and
yes, who's going to be a guest of ours a little later.
That's great.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did. I think I met him.
Okay.
So that's
yeah.
Yeah, we're big supporters of the local businesses. We do a lot of the philanthropy, and with the Schenectady Board of Improvement, that office, we do a lot with them. So we keep up with all the local mom and pop businesses, all of them individually owned, because we know Schenectady is big on individual small business, not the big corporations or franchises for retail and food. So we did promote the first LGBTU Pride event that was held on J Street.
Really?
With a lot of the local vendors, such as Happy Cappuccino and Zara and Bella's.
Okay.
And we continue to support all the local events to bring people to Schenectady. As it goes, it helps out the local businesses and it helps out our business.
Now, are you open 7 days a week for the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do advertising for just that piece? Do you do it in the paper, the Gazette? I know people that are traveling and staying there certainly would know about the restaurant, but do you promote it other than that?
We have local publications that we're on. Some of the flyers, the walking maps, all the Schenectady tourism, what has all the walking maps and area attractions, we're on all the flyers and all the publications for Samuel's Restaurant inside the hotel.
Okay. I know at one time they used to be in the entertainment book.
I think
I
we
don't
are.
know if you think you still are? I'll have to check it out because I have that.
Yeah, I've got the 2012 entertainment book also.
Yeah, it's worth it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's just been wonderful to have you here. I really try to make things a win-win situation for everybody, and you've been so generous. And I know you also help families of Ellis Hospital.
We have an Ellis Hospital rate. So they can come and stay with us at a special rate. It's just courtesy of the hotel. We do it. We don't have anything signed with Ellis right now, but we are doing it. It's we have a rate with Union College too. We try and build rates for the local businesses.
That's wonderful. Someone from Ellis told me that, and that's how I knew about that piece.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful. I'm glad that they know about it.
Yes, they refer people to you.
Yes.
So
yes,
a lot of good stuff here you guys are doing. I'm so happy to get the information out to our community.
I'm happy that you invited us today. Thank you so much.
I hope you'll have some refreshments and
definitely.
Thank you.
stay to the end of the show. So we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back. Yes. This is Janice Thompson's show, and you're watching a SAC production out of our new location at 34 J Street across from the post office. Thank you. We'll be right back. Well, we're back again, and this is the Janice Thompson Show, a SAC production. And as I mentioned earlier, you can bring your productions here to us. Give us a call at 831-9145, and we'll be happy to meet up with you. We're here for your convenience. We want to make sure that you have true access to Channel 16, and we will get your production over to Proctor's Theater, to OSM, Open Stage Media. Our show today is on community development, as I mentioned earlier, and I have my third guest here, Serena Bush. She is the Assistant Director of the Schenectady County Library. And a lot of community development has been going on there. And I want to welcome Serena. Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so it's exciting what's happening, isn't it?
Very exciting. We've been waiting a long time to see the completion of our expansion, and it's finally in sight.
Now, it was started in May of 2010?
The groundbreaking was about a year and a half ago. Okay. Well, not quite, a little more than a year ago. But the process began close to 10 years ago, actually.
Wow.
When we first realized that we were running out of space in the library. We were seeing more families with children and strollers and lots more computer use, and we were just outgrowing our space. So we started to get the idea rolling that we needed an expansion of the library. And there were a few bumps in that road. We had a plan that ended up not going forward, but we finally got on track a couple years ago, and the result is this wonderful, beautiful, and very dynamic addition to the library.
This is gorgeous. I'm so glad that you brought that here today. Maybe you can point out for maybe there's people that are new in the community, the parts of it.
Okay. Well, this is Liberty Street. So the library, the main library, sits on the corner of Liberty and Clinton. And the library proper ended right there. So this entire space is the new expansion. It's about 6,700 square feet, and it will house the new Children's Center. So all of the space will be for the children's collection, children's program room. We'll be sharing a program room with the new teen center that will be carved out of the existing library. They also dropped a mezzanine. Because it's such a big space, they dropped a mezzanine in the center of this 6,700 square feet, and that will house a brand new boardroom for meetings with our Board of Trustees, and 2 study rooms, which are all glassed in, and we've never really had before. So it's a place for small group study or tutoring. And that's very dramatic because there is a nice curved staircase that goes up to the mezzanine.
So it's like a second floor?
It's like a second floor. It's not a full second floor,
that's
but
lovely.
It was architecturally very interesting.
Now, will you be able to have like photographs going up the stairway of Schenectady, or that's actually possible down the road?
Possible. There's not a lot of wall space in this new addition. There's a lot of glass.
Okay.
And but there are some sections of the addition that have been named for donors. So you will see there have been some naming opportunities. The Friends of the Library donated a large amount, and that's what we named the mezzanine, the Friends of the Library mezzanine.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm a member of the Friends of the Library.
Well, they have been very
instrumental
in getting this off the ground and in donating money to see it to completion. The Wright Family Foundation also donated a large amount, so it's actually being called the Wright Family Children's Center. That's the whole addition. The Schenectady Foundation donated money, so our Early Learning Center, or the sort of the toddler preschool area, we have renamed the Schenectady Foundation Early Learning Center. So there were some naming opportunities for some of our private donors, which is very, very wonderful for us to acknowledge.
This is really a jewel for Schenectady, isn't it?
Well, the main library, I believe, was already a jewel.
Mm-hmm.
This just really makes it just much more beautiful. It's such an investment in our community because the public library is still the one place where everything is free, unless you have fines. And you do have to pay for fines and things occasionally. But where everything is free, it's a place for families to come for programming and entertainment, place to get your DVDs, to use computers. And it's such a community gathering space that the fact that the County Board of Legislators and our own Board of Trustees really felt that this was a worthwhile investment to make our library bigger and better.
Now, the McChesney Room has been a great part. Will that remain the same?
That will remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the children's programming may come out of that space now because we will have our own program room. It's not as big as the McChesney Room. That still remains the spot for some of our larger programs. But the children's space is uniquely designed because we've never had a teen area before in the library. It was kind of tucked into a little corner, and we wanted to attract more teens. The library is a great place to come after school, to come on the weekends for teens who are looking not only for good books to read, but for some programming that's geared especially to that age group. But we never really had that space. So in the library, the way things are being rearranged, we have a brand new teen space that is adjacent to the children's space, and we will share a program room. So in the evenings, when there are no preschoolers around, the teens will be able to use that space for games or films or book discussions or craft programs or whatever it is we can decide that they would enjoy.
Now, the film program is going to continue.
It is. I've
been to several there, and I love that.
Yes, it's a great place to see some of the new and popular films. It's one of those things where people don't realize sometimes that we show films, so they're always surprised that you can see them for free, and it's a great service.
A lot of people I don't think know that. And I get a lot of my information from the community notes in the Gazette. Mm-hmm. And actually I advertise our Schenectady Access Cable Council meetings in the community notes because it's free.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful thing. What about the computer training classes? Will they continue?
They will continue. They continue to be very popular. We do everything from basic computing to how to do email. People are starting to ask for things like, how do I use Facebook? How do I, use some of the social media that's out there? So we're adding things all the time. Around the holidays, we sometimes do a online shopping course just so people know, what's involved, what to look out for, security issues when you're ordering things online, using your credit card, that sort of thing. So we actually take requests from people for the kinds of programming they would like, but every month there are several computer classes and they're almost always full. So,
any chance that they'll ever have them in the afternoon?
Oh, I could pass that along.
That would be a good idea.
Also, for the first time, we'll have computers just for the teens. Because a lot of teens are using the bank of computers that are in the center of the library, but there'll be 4 computer terminals in the new teen space just for 13 to 17-year-olds. Mm-hmm. So that will be new and a place that they can kind of hang out on their own.
Nice. Now, the restrooms.
Yes.
They are being renovated.
They are done. That was one of the most difficult periods of this renovation because for a while we were without public restrooms. And, of course, that created some problems for our patrons.
Sure.
They had to use the McChesney Room for actually quite a few weeks. But they have been completely renovated. They're clean, beautiful, and the staff restrooms were done as well. There's also a brand new family restroom in the children's space, which is made a little bit larger. So, if a family with a couple of kids needs to go in at one time, they can do that. And of course, all of our restrooms have baby changing tables, old and new. So that's something that we made sure we had in.
And you did say handicapped accessible,
They're
right?
all
That's required.
accessible. Yes.
I don't know if the other ones were.
They're much bigger now,
mm-hmm.
so there's no issue with ADA compliance.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people would have thought they would like a cafe, but it's...
I know. I was one of those people because I love coffee. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a little
There's some coffee
shop
here for you when you're done.
I think that would have been nice, but there really wasn't space, and libraries are finding sometimes those coffee shops are hard to maintain. They're hard to staff. And,
Sure.
They don't make a lot of money, so... It's a great idea. It's not always a very practical one.
Exactly. A lot of things sound good, but when you want to put them into practice, it's not the best thing lots of times.
We've become a little less strict about having beverages, and we certainly don't want people to have open containers, but we do allow people to come in with a bottle of water as long as it's covered, and and occasionally coffee as long as it's covered, and they're very careful. Because that's kind of how we expect. When you go into a bookstore, it's sort of the norm now to walk around with your coffee or
at least some water.
At least some water,
of course. And some people need to take water for medical reasons.
That's true.
Frequently.
We still don't like food though. No food in the library.
Well, hopefully nobody will sneak any in.
It happens.
You never know. You never know. They might bring their lunch. What was the cost of this project?
It was about $2.5 million. It was jointly financed by the county of Schenectady and private donations. And I mentioned some of those private donors being families and foundations and the Friends of the Library. It's come in under budget, or just about right at budget. So we're very happy about that. And a lot of the work was done ahead of time that people didn't see. For instance, we got new heating, new cooling, new ventilation system, a whole new fire system, asbestos abatement. So some of that chunk of money was used before the addition was even started, just to get the library, up to code and get it modernized a bit.
And the builder is a Schenectady firm.
It was designed by Reform Architecture, which is a Schenectady firm, and there's quite a bit of evidence of their work downtown. They've done quite a few buildings downtown. Mike Gamache was the lead architect on this, and he worked very closely with us. There was a building committee that consisted of members of the county board and our board of trustees and a couple of staff members. And when it came down to making decisions about, how staff worked and what the library needed in terms of their program, Mike worked really closely with us to help design the space. And we got to look at colors and carpet and pick out some of that. So we really had an investment in it, and they were very, very open to our ideas because, after all, we're the ones that have to work in this space, and we had to accommodate, what we felt were our growing needs. So it was really a fun process, and they were wonderful to work with. The contractors are VMJR company, and those workmen are incredibly busy. And if you were to go over there now, you would see it's a beehive of activity. We're recarpeting the main library, and they're carpeting the new space. They're moving shelves. They're finishing up a lot of the work that needs to be done for our grand donor reception, which will be held on July 23rd. So,
and that's not open to the public.
It's not open to the public. It was an invitation only for some of our major donors to recognize their contributions to getting our addition completed.
Mm-hmm. Now, will you have an open house?
We plan to have an open house. We haven't set the date just yet because there are some logistical issues with when shelving is going to come and when we can actually physically move the children's collection from the old space to the new space, and that's going to take a lot of manpower, including staff. So I'm planning to wear my jeans for a couple of days while we move books, and so it could be that week of July 23rd, possibly later in that week, or at least earlier the following week. But the county will be sort of spearheading that and inviting everyone who wants to see this beautiful new space.
And maybe they'll have like a reception, maybe some light refreshments.
I hope so.
I think that would be a drawing card.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. And
definitely.
We're pretty sure that we're going to be busy from that day forward with people just being curious about what it looks like now that it's open and we've been waiting so long. And we'll be really happy to get the library put back together, because right now it's pretty inconvenient for staff and patrons trying to find things that have been put in temporary places. So,
and you may need more staffing.
We would love to have more staffing. That is an issue, because we are quite bare bones staffed as it is, and with a new space and lots of new patrons, we would like to have more staff. But that remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, good luck with everything. I'm so happy that you brought this rendering.
My pleasure.
This is our second one for my show, and this is absolutely beautiful. So come back and see us soon. We have a date down the road for you to come back and talk about things for summer fun. So I want to thank you again, Serena, for being here today, and help yourself to some light refreshments, including the coffee that you love.
I do.
And we'll be right back. Thank you all for tuning in today. Tell your friends about us. We want you to be a regular viewer here. So, and call the numbers and come down and see us at 34 J Street across from the post office. I will be doing a show again in a few weeks, and it'll be a surprise who the guests are. So keep your eyes and ears open. Thank you. This is Janice Thompson on Community Development.